welcome to our live stream number 50.
We're the Waterstreet Blues Band, and this is Talking About Live, coming at you live every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or 3 o'clock in the morning in Caracas.
All right, we're about to start the show.
All right.
Hey, there we are. Hi, everybody. Wait. What was that? What was that? What's going on? Guys, okay, get the show back on, Fluffy. All right. Oh, there we... Okay. Hi, everyone.
Hi, I hope everybody's doing great. We've had a really great week, and we're really thrilled to be here. I'm Rob. I'm the guitar player in the Waterstreet Blues Band.
Yeah, and I'm Silvia. I play keys and squeeze. That's accordion.
Hi, and I'm Paul, and I enjoy golf. I enjoy back rubs, and I enjoy today's show. Today's show is going to be amazing. Today's show, we have our special guest, Kitchener's independent record store and music label magnate, Mark Logan. And happy birthday to Les Paul and Cole Porter. And we have a special feature tonight. Our vintage vinyl will be done with our guest live on location at Encore Records later on tonight.
All right, that's going to be a wonderful treat, and we want to give a happy birthday wish out to Julia. You know who you are.
Happy birthday,
Happy birthday,
Julia.
Julia. Sunshine.
So Paul, how you been?
Something like that.
How you been?
Good. I want to also introduce, I'd like to introduce Fluffy, but he's not here. I don't know if you guys know, but Fluffy was incarcerated, and rightly so, last week for some foul play. No. And he won't be able to make it to the show. He's held in custody. I haven't talked to him lately. Has anybody talked to him?
I haven't seen him. Apparently he ran afoul of the copyright police.
Yeah.
Right.
So maybe what happened there?
I don't know. I think there was an issue, and he drew the short carrot, and he took one for the team. So.
Well, guys, it was pretty obvious. They shut us down. Okay, it was a copyright infringement, and the whole live stream got shut down. And Fluffy runs it, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
well,
it's a serious thing.
Yeah, it is a serious thing. So,
I brought him a carrot cake, though, with a nice file inside.
How are you doing, Paul?
I'm okay, Rob. Everything's good. I shaved today, and something that I wanted to talk to you guys about. I was doing some numbers this morning, financial numbers, and I've realized that I haven't made any money on this show from the very beginning,
I
haven't been paid anything.
It was never about the money. Nobody has made any money on this show.
No.
But, okay, your time is not very valuable. No offense, okay? But, it's a black and white fact. My time is worth a lot of money, especially in the music scene. And I need to increase my income, and I'm going to have to do something about it.
I don't know what you can do about it.
Why just you?
It's 50 shows now.
Why is it always about you and money?
Rob, it was made very clear from the very beginning when we met that money is really the only motivating factor for me at the end of the day. And I'm just being honest. And everybody is feeling that way right now as well. So I have to go out, and I'm going to reach out to the audience, and I'm going to try to get some cash.
Okay.
Oh, that's pretty craven of you. And how are you proposing to do this?
Well, I think I've started a foundation of my own to raise cash for various miscellaneous needs. And I also actually hired a videographer, and I put together a promotional video, which is really geared towards this audience and encourages them to make some contributions to my lifestyle in a way, in a pitiful kind of way, if you can pity me. Anyway, I'd like to roll the video, and I'd like to also say that we're going to show a number on the screen, and please feel free to make a cash pledge. I don't really want anything other than cash.
So what are you going to do with the cash? Like, is it go to something useful, good?
Oh yeah, Rob, there's a lot of useful things I need to get done. I need to achieve in terms of my hobbies. And also, I spend thousands of dollars on guitar strings, believe it or not, every month.
All right.
So I need, especially the bass strings, they're very breakable. So let's roll this tape. And if any of you feel inclined to make any donations, I would really appreciate it. This is a
This is not.
That someone cares. Send me some love and some money.
Okay.
We're God's big family. I belong
We're
to
God's
the
big family. Money.
You know I love you, but I need money.
I need money.
The money.
Think about
I need the money. Show me the money. I need to see cash money.
Cash money.
Saving lives with cash money.
I recorded all the parts myself.
Send it so that I can
Uncle Chief.
be ready.
This is
Who cares about the money? I care about the money. God has shown us by turning stones to bread, so we all must lend a helping. Cash
Help.
money. Give me cash
Help
money.
with more money.
We are the world. We are the band. The brighter days are up ahead. And now I need the money. Because we're saving time by doing these things for money.
But let us know in the comments if you think this should be reported to the authorities. Wow.
You know, I've also resurrected ChargeX as an alternative to Bitcoin.
That's
Well,
all
I take
right. That's
Bitcoin
good.
and take cash.
Kathy from Winnipeg is offered up $100 of Monopoly money.
Oh, good.
And apparently my mic's really low for some unknown reason. But there you go.
There you go. Your mic's really low.
Yeah. There you go, everybody. Welcome to the show. We've got a great show lined up. We've got some crazy mental stuff happening again.
Oh, we have a little community shout out, because, that wasn't really for community.
No, that was all about Paul.
But you know what? This is all about us because there's a little program called Stronger Together, and we'd like to highlight on that we were part of the Stronger Together because of everyone who's joined us on our live stream, and we were excited to be featured for that news story that you can find on the CTV website. So. You can wander down there, and you can go to another website. I think, Rob, you know about that one. Right? Oh, no. Don't give money to these people.
No, the other website is, we were pleased to have been notified that today Water Street Blues Band was nominated for the Records Choice Awards for 2021 under the category of local musician or band. So if you want to see, Water Street ascend to the great heights of the toppermost of the poppermost of the Reader's Choice, you can go online and continue to nominate us, and that apparently will get us to the next cut.
Okay, so that's a great newspaper, but
And thank you for whoever nominated us. It was a complete surprise,
Yes,
so
thank
thank
you.
you.
It wasn't us. It wasn't any of us. But I just, I need to ask a question. Maybe some of our viewers are wondering the same thing, but you guys, is there a reason? I didn't get the memo about the paper bag.
What bags?
No, the paper bags you're wearing on your heads. Is it like a COVID mask enhancement, or
What
you're
bag,
preparing
Silvia?
for you? The one with
bags?
the no, you're both okay.
Well, Last week, we, as many of our loyal Facebook users might know, is about halfway through the show, you couldn't see the show anymore. Apparently, a very large and very powerful music company decided that we had used one of their images.
Right.
And they were displeased, so they yanked our show offline midstream. We didn't know about it until our show was over, and we were notified by our great YouTube contingent that they could see the whole show, but apparently on Facebook it got shut down. So Silvia received lots of faxes from the lawyers of this corporation, and apparently they now own our faces. And we can't show them on this live stream without permission.
They don't own. Paul, you got the faxes. I got.
You know, it's really hard to pick your nose in this situation. Like
Paul
if you have to do an emergency pick.
But we no longer own our faces, and
No,
we don't have permission to use them.
You know who owns our face now, Rob? Mark Zuckerberg. That guy owns our faces. I'm sick of this, and I heard that he sold them already. He just flipped them, made some money, flipped them. Yeah. You know who owns our face now? The Byway. We're going to be the new face of the Byway when it relaunches.
No,
guys. I actually, you got Paul gets faxes. I actually get emails. No, we were contacted. That's true that we were shut down because of showing images of the album covers, but you do not need to worry. Your images are not owned by the record company, and you're fine. You don't need to worry.
So I can take this off?
You can take.
Oh, that's a relief. It was getting hot in there.
I kind of like it.
No, you're all good. Very nice. Well, that's good.
Hi, everybody.
I didn't want to. No. They told us that it's fine. You don't.
I want to do this triumphantly. Hold on.
Okay. Very
Take
nice.
that, Zuckerberg.
Very nice.
You always own your own. Okay, good.
Well, this is the time of the show where we're going to give away one of the records that we just completed. We completed our last record last year in August 2020. We released it digitally. It's called Talkin' About, and we try to give a copy away every week by asking a very, very difficult blues-related question. And in honor of our guest today, Mark Logan, we wanted to kind of link the question to him and the activities he's interested in.
I have to say, some people thought you were wearing bags over your heads because of the hockey game results.
No, not a chance. I'm proud of my team. So if the first person who can, in the comments, name the independent record store, he was a giant in the industry. He owned a very, very famous indie record store that specialized in blues and jazz, and he was also a label owner. He really ruled that space in the area that he worked out of for many, many years. He unfortunately passed away this year in May. And he was a real giant. So if anybody has that name and can name that individual, we'll send you out a digital version of the record, and it's called Talkin' About. And we haven't played anything off that record. We haven't shown any videos or played any music. So we thought let's show the title track from our new record. This is a video we put together, and here's the title track of our album, Talkin' About.
All right, roll it, Fluffy.
She does what it takes to get what she wants. That girl's got a body that's begging to tease. No one to teach her the way she should walk. The way that she moves is breaking the law. Talking about when she took you in, you went for the ride. You handed her reasons for taking a dive. It must have been love, it been lust. No matter the reasons, you hopped on the bus. You know what I'm talking about. Ooh, you know what I'm talking about. She'll have you crawling in time, she'll get you down on your knees. She'll have you reeling inside when she pulls on your leash. You know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. When she took you in, you went for the ride. You handed her reasons for taking a dive. It must have been love, it could have been lust. No matter the reasons, you hopped on the bus. You know what I'm talking about. Ooh, you know what I'm talking about. She'll have you crawling in time, she'll get you down on your knees. She'll have you reeling inside when she pulls on your leash. You know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, Junior.
All right.
There you go. There's the title track from the album Talking About. So if anybody has the answer to that question, which giant in the indie record industry and also owned his own music label recently passed this past May. If anyone knows the answer to that question.
I do.
Oh, someone's telling us that the sound is gone. Is it on? Oh, good. It's back on. Thanks, Nancy.
Oh, okay.
And remind me, Silvia, that Pandemic Show wants us to ask Mark some questions when he's on.
All right.
And another viewer was asking us to remind them how they can vote for us at the Records Reader's Choice Award. The Record is Waterloo Region's local newspaper, so just go to therecord.com and look up, there's a link somewhere on that site to the Reader's Choice Awards.
Google it.
There's then a category
we
called
should find
People and Professionals, and then there's a subcategory in that for musicians. And we're at the bottom of that list, and if you'd like to continue nominating us, the more people that nominate us, the greater chance we have of separating ourselves from the pack, so to speak.
All right, that's great. And you know what? While you were speaking, we had some reminders about our socials. Of course, we're looking for 1,000 subscribers on YouTube because it helps us with Paul and Fluffy's legal problems.
And the cash.
Oh, and the cash. That's right. Oh, but Fluffy's back.
Oh, Fluffy's
back.
He broke out.
That's all right. That's all right. Carrot cake with a file in it. That's all right.
He's a rabbit on the lamb.
Oh. He's all good. All right,
Well,
people are already asking about records that Mark has, so we better get this show on the road.
So we're really thrilled. We've been wanting to have this guest on for quite some time, and it's now come to pass. So we're really thrilled to have Kitchener's independent record store proprietor, Mark Logan, in the house tonight. And Mark's also the president, CEO, and I think one of the only members of the C-suite for Busted Flat Records. And so we've got lots of questions and lots of conversation. But before we bring him on into our production studio, we've had drones in the sky. We've been tracking him, and we think we have now located his record store properly. Can we roll that video,
yeah,
Fluffy?
Let's see if we can find that, Fluffy. I don't know if he's took off for a little bit, so I'm not sure. Is he around still? Is he still around? Where is he?
Come on, Fluffy. Get on.
Okay.
We've got a live stream to do.
Okay, that's all right. That's all right.
So get the drones up in the air.
Oh, all right. Satellite.
Oh, they're really high up in the air. They're fast, too.
All right. Coming right into the doors, and there we are. Yeah,
Hey.
right in our studio.
Well, we've always had all kinds of music. So we've got all sorts of different genres, not just top con. We still do really well with new and used records, new and used. It's really just trying to find what people are looking for at form.
And you've seen the industry change a lot. Like it's interesting. I know you focus a lot of your business on vinyl, and that's one of the reasons that I love it a lot. And but tell us about like how real is this vinyl thing that's happening right now, and is it audiophiles that are doing these things, that are going out and buying these records, or is it people that are nostalgic about vinyl, or is it a combination? Like, tell us about the profile of your typical client.
It's pretty much everybody, all age groups, men, women, old guys, teenagers, 20-somethings. It started out, I think, with the 20-somethings latching on to records. They were cool and retro. And it honestly got them listening to music, I think, outside of just streaming music. So they started buying records, buying turntables. Some people really got into it. interestingly, it spurred on their parents, because all the younger people that got into records would go visit mom and dad, and oftentimes dad would have a few hundred records that they would then pillage. Once dad, mom saw the kids back into it, it prompted them to go to the garage and dust off their turntable and try and get it going again and buying records. So it's really everybody is looking for records. That said, a lot of stores have opened up just selling vinyl. We still do a lot of business with CDs because a lot of people true vinyl and don't want to go back there.
Yeah, and for the ones that are buying the vinyl and yourself, could you talk a little bit about why people prefer the sound of the vinyl in comparison to the digital sound from a CD or an MP3 file? Like, are you also into those differences in the sound of the quality of the audio and the analog version of those tunes?
No.
I am, and I know a lot of people that are. Yeah. And that's my reason for wanting it. Yeah.
It's around here all day, every day, where the vinyl people come in and go, vinyl's better, it's warmer, it's analog, it's yada, yada, yada. And the people that like CDs and like a beautifully remastered CD would argue that is equally a pleasant listening experience. The interesting thing now is most of the vinyl that's being repressed, there's very, very little that's coming from an analog source. So if you're buying a Pink Floyd record that's manufactured now, you're buying a digital copy of the analog transfer.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. That's really interesting.
Great. They all sound great. I can't hear the difference at this point in my life.
Too many Motorhead concerts.
Among us. Yeah.
Mark, we've got a question from one of our viewers. Wanted to know whether you have some specific records. So I'll just go through them. Perth County Conspiracy.
No.
Okay. Chaos.
Sometimes.
Okay. And this one I'm not familiar with, but Cuckoo Kangaroo Slow Clap.
Oddly, we don't have that one.
Okay.
But we may well get it in.
It could.
Been on occasion used, but they're never in good shape because I think everybody who bought that record did more than just listen to it. So they're often in very poor condition.
They're a Minnesota band apparently, so they're big in they're big. They're close to my hometown in Winnipeg. So,
Rob, I don't know what to tell you. Badass. Normally, what happens is if 4 or 5 other people ask me about it, I will track it down and try and get it in.
All right.
Great, Mark. Can you give us a virtual tour of your store? And I usually do the vintage vinyl stuff, but this time we are very lucky to have thousands of records at our disposal and thousands of recordings there. And you must have, like, what I always find interesting also about the vinyl. I'm sorry, I'm stuck on the vinyl, but the thing about the vinyl is that it's a piece of art too. Like it's about the cover and it's that surface and it's the size of it, and you can really enjoy the art around the cover. And that's one of the things I really enjoy. And I'm sure you've got some pretty interesting stuff in the store. Can you give us a tour of the store? And I'd like to start with the washrooms.
Well, I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing here, so I'll just turn the camera around.
Okay.
And I apologize if you're looking at the floor or ceiling.
That'll be good.
Oh, it's spotless.
Is this the right angle? Okay.
Oh, yeah, it's looking great.
This is beautiful.
I'll take them all.
So this is
Can't get enough.
all sorts of records, sort of the A to Z rock. We'll move back towards the washrooms. All the CDs are all around us. R&B, hip hop records, jazz records. This is all the record store day stuff that's come in so far.
Very cool.
Which is, I don't know if that's all we're getting, but there's a lot.
Right, this is a
CDs,
huge.
which is where you'll find the Water Street record when they bring it into us.
September.
And this is a bunch of overstock records that we've had to make room for because the way records are right now, you pretty much have to buy them when you can buy them.
Hard to get. Yeah.
Well,
hard to
the
get this year.
capacity for manufacturing is apparently half of what the demand is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the vinyl side of things.
Yeah. Although CDs are getting tricky too because the plastic apparently is being used for the PPE.
Right. It's like wartime. All the valuable materials are being rationed.
Yeah, so it's a challenge, but certainly vinyl, they can't come anywhere near to manufacture.
Well, Mark, you mentioned Record Store Day, and it's coming up, isn't it?
Saturday.
Well, for those who don't know what Record Store Day is, well, how did it start? How did it get established?
Initially, it was a bunch of indie store owners in the U.S. wanted to do something like the comic book stores do, where they have a free comic book day. So they came up with Record Store Day in 2007, and initially it was mainly independent labels doing one-offs or colored vinyl versions of some of their records and selling them just to independent stores, because at that time indie stores were struggling with the chain stores and the big online retailers. Everyone was being very aggressive, so it's like, how can we help the indie stores? Because for a lot of those labels were the only stores that would stock their product.
Right.
They started doing that. Every year it's grown. 7-8 years ago, the major labels got involved because they saw how busy it was and started doing mainly colored vinyl variants of some of their albums. So, you'll get Frank Zappa, Hot Rats on pink vinyl or something. And they've sort of co-opted it so that stuff is what people are really looking for now. And they do ridiculously small quantities. And consequently, it's very difficult for us to get a lot of that product. So we did well this year, but it's always a case of you order and you wait and see what you get. And sometimes it's nothing.
And are the customers for Record Store Day primarily collectors? Like they're the ones looking for those special low numbers albums?
They are collectors, but it's not. It's really people that are seriously interested in vinyl, or people who are fans of one of the artists. Like this year, they're doing a Triumph box set.
Oh.
And it's Allied Forces 40th anniversary, and it's the album, live stuff, 7-inch big box. And that's bringing out a lot of people that don't necessarily buy records all the time, but they're a fan of the band.
Very cool. Now, you told me that there's some rules around Record Store Day. I didn't realize it had grown to the point where they actually had to have a rule book.
Oh, there's always rules, because what a lot of people do is, it's Saturday morning. As of midnight on Saturday, if you go on eBay, essentially every single record that I have is being sold for $100 or more by stores, mainly in the US, that have the product and are just going for it financially. So one of the big rules is you can't list anything online. They've changed it because of COVID. So for us, we'll be able to start listing it at 1 p.m. on Saturday. That's one of those. I can't sell anything in advance. I can't reserve anything. So if you come to me and say, hey, I want this, and this, can you hang on to it for me? I have to say no. Essentially, the idea is to get people in the store and make it fair for everybody. So normally we'll have a lineup at both doors of 100 people or more waiting to get in, and it's chaos. This year, because of the COVID thing, we did a poll online, and most people preferred to do it on our website. Despite the fact that technically we can have 2 people in our store starting Saturday, it would just take 10, 12 hours to get through the line if we
get it. Wise choice.
Just so people know, encorerecords.ca, right above us there.
That's the way you get to play at Record Store Day with Mark Logan and his great staff. Big shout out to Al and to Chris, and sometimes Lynn. I wanted to ask you, actually, some folks online are asking you, I mean, you've got such a loyal following within the Waterloo catchment area, but do you have regular customers that come from some distance just to come to your store?
We do. There's a bunch of guys that come from London, Hamilton, Toronto. Certainly with all the lockdowns and shutdowns, et cetera, we've picked up a ton of people from across the country that found us sort of a year ago, March, when they were stuck at home looking for music, and have stayed with us. So I basically shipped records now to every province and territory. Customer in Nunavut that orders sort of quarterly.
That's really good and well deserved. It's just become a mecca for people to find exactly what they're looking for now.
So, you own a record store. What was the first record that you bought?
Probably the first Partridge Family album.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That or Donny Osmond. It's a little fuzzy.
Fuzzy?
That I bought that one big three. David Cassidy, Donny Osmond, and Bobby Sherman would have been Elton John, probably Caribou.
Okay.
My mom and they had a record section.
Very cool. Very cool. Now, the thing I love about Encore Records, and for anybody who has never been to Encore Records, when it's safe to do so, I would encourage people to visit Encore Records, because as somebody who's been involved in music in this community for a while now, it's a real hub, and it's a hub that really supports the music scene and supports musicians, because anytime I walk in there, guaranteed there's somebody else I know who is in a band or plays an instrument or is just popping in to drop off their posters for a gig or to drop off tickets for you to sell for a show somewhere. And you guys have created this wonderful ecosystem of information. I mean, you don't even need the internet. You just need to go to Encore Records and find out what's shaking. How did you do that purposefully, or does it just happen?
It's always something that we're conscious of. I mean, we've always sold independent releases for free. So essentially, if you bring your CD in and we sell one, you get all the money.
Wow.
We made that decision early on just to try and give local folk. The old store, we had front windows where we've got a couple bulletin board type things now that people bring in posters, often the day before the show.
Yeah, that's my MO. Sometimes the day after.
Hint, hint, Rob.
But we sell our tickets and don't charge a commission. I mean, it's just little things, but I mean, my deal with everybody is if you get to play the Air Canada Centre, I want a ticket.
Yeah. Yes, and that's more than fair. Like the thing that I find really cool is that you can come in looking for a record, and because you see somebody you haven't seen in a while, suddenly 3 hours later you've had this great conversation about what's playing in the store during the time that you're there, because guaranteed it's something you've never heard and it's always amazing, and then you get to catch up with these people who also live musical lives. Either they enjoy music, they listen to music, they play music, or they perform music. And God bless you for doing it, because an independent record store is so important to an active and healthy music scene. So good on you.
And I always know where to find Rob.
Mark, can I ask you a question? What's the most valuable record you've ever sold, in your opinion, that you perhaps regret selling, or it was just a really unique piece? Is there something that sticks out prominently?
I mean, there's been lots of things over the. I was most got a copy of Big Will and Bob Dylan album. There was the first issue had 4 songs that got removed pretty quickly. When we got it, it turned out it was the second pressing of the vinyl.
Wow.
Of the
Wow.
Worth a guy in Hamilton that I knew that was a major Dylan fan, so I just gave it to him because.
Yeah.
But that's probably what could. In the old days, we used to get John Lennon. Mono, the original version came with a calendar. I mean, a couple $100 probably, but.
Mark, your audio is breaking up a little bit. I'm wondering if you could maybe hold your phone so that I'm not sure whether.
I think it's just some clicking on our audio, like background noises that are getting from cutting you out. Sorry, it has to be us.
Want to try again?
Hello.
We'll be very quiet.
That's better.
We'll be quiet.
That's better.
Yeah, I mean, most people that have super valuable record collections are not selling them to me. There's the really rare stuff goes to auction now.
Okay.
Well, I know that every time my son goes into your store, and that when it's under normal times is more frequently, he's able to find some really cool picks. So you've got some awesome stuff. And speaking of Mark's picks and vintage vinyl, maybe tell us about some vinyl picks that you've made and some of the records that you really love.
Oh, we're still doing that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hang on.
Kind of skipped past that there.
Yeah, you're in the wrong part of the store.
We got into record store day.
Okay, I pulled out a few things that I really like. Nothing particularly valuable, but just a few. Bob Dylan's my main guy. So for me, this was the first record I ever got. Which was Slow Train Comin', which was the first record released by the time I was into him. So I've had to listen to it 1,000 times, and it's one of my favorites. And I'm a big fan of jazz in general, but one of the first things that I discovered was Charles Mingus.
Amazing record. Incredible record.
Yeah, what a cover.
Yeah.
This is great. This is real vintage vinyl, Paul.
I know, but you got a real guy. I'm not real.
A guy turned me on to a few things that were not what I normally listen to, and this was one of the records that he gave me.
Close to the Edge.
I don't know. I was a teenager, 14, 15, and that just, I'd never heard anything like it on an Osmond Brothers record.
You think?
And then I just ran across this when I was digging around for stuff. It's Bob Marley and the Wailers. I don't know how to find this. Catch a Fire.
Wow.
It's actually a Zippo lighter.
Very cool. What a great label.
That was Island Records, and Brent Hagerman actually did a book about Miles Davis recently, Bob Marley, and used that in the photo gallery because it's fairly hard to find that record.
Very cool.
It's an amazing cover.
That's all I got.
Well, I want to say something to you about Dylan. You turned me on to that period of Dylan, where he became a little preachy, and the box set came out of the live concerts that he did around it, and you said, you should really give that a listen, and you might change your mind about that period of Dylan. And I'm really glad you did, because those live shows that he did around that time were absolutely incredible.
Well, yeah, I mean, lyrically, sure, it was pretty evangelical, but he sang his ass off, and the band was great. And I mean, when he played the Odd in '81, that was for Shot of Love, so it was a mix of classics and gospel tunes, and it was still the best time I've ever seen him play.
Yeah, it was those series of shows were absolutely incredible. So thank you for that. I think Silvia's got some.
Well, I was just going to ask about Busted Flat Records. We're also showing another one of your major activities, which is the record label that you also run. And I thought people might want to hear about that.
Okay. What do you want to know?
Well, you know what? A lot of people, me included, what exactly happens at Busted Flat Records? Like what? I know we can go online and see some of the artists, and how does it happen? How does the magic happen?
Initially, it was 2003, I think. I was talking with a local guy, Shannon Lyon, about putting out one of his records, and we got together and did that, and that was the start of it. And really, it started out being all local artists. The next one was Lynn Jackson, then Mike Alviano. Dan Walsh was in there too pretty early on. And it just grew from there. Started doing more blues. I mean, it was always kind of singer-songwritery, moved into blues a bit. But the bottom line was I had to really like the record. Mm-hmm. Because spend hours and hours and hours working a record, it's got to be something that I thought was really great and that I believed in. So we had some success. We had some good press. I started getting interest from artists outside of this area. Jay Semko from the Northern Pikes, his manager reached out to me, and we did a whole pile of records together. And then that same fellow managed a guy named Matt Anderson, who at the time wasn't super well known, but yet was really well known if you were into sort of Canadian acoustic blues. He was independent at the time, so Matt and I started working together, and we did 4 records together, actually. Wow. And that was really special. Because we sold a lot of records. Matt's a fantastic performer.
Mm-hmm. He really is.
So it got me, it got us noticed a lot more, honestly, because people from across the country were hitting us up.
I was going to say, right across Canada.
Yeah. Daddy Longlegs, who started working with, and now Elliot and the Audio Kings, Lucas Stagg, Paul McLeod, Cheryl Lescombe and the Tucson Choir Boys just put out a brilliant record.
One. Yeah, fabulous.
Ginger St. James and Alfie Smith from Hamilton Way. I mean, I've done somewhere around 100 records in the last 18 years, I guess, on Busted Flat. And I would stand behind most of them. I mean, they're really, really solid records. It's a talented bunch of folk.
Well, it's and for those people who want to check out and dive into that catalog even more deeply, you can go check them out at bustedflatrecords.com.
I happen to be going by right now.
That's right.
There you go.
Just point up, Mark.
Right there.
Nice.
Yeah. And Mark, we really want to thank you for being our guest tonight on the show. Are
we done already?
Pretty close. Miss Angel did have a question. She wants to know if do you have a copy of Kind of Blue in the store?
I do.
Which format?
Compact disc or vinyl record.
And it's in the jazz section. So yes, they've got Kind of Blue in 2 flavors.
All right.
And when do you think the cassette's going to come back?
They're trying. I'm resisting that.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really? What about the 8-track?
No, just a second. The cassette thing interests me. Why are they trying to bring cassettes back?
Initially, I think it was the labels going, wow, if people are buying records, maybe they'll buy cassettes.
Just for this.
But now a lot of younger bands are doing cassettes. They're cheap. You can do a short run for a lot less than a short run of vinyl.
Yeah. And
you can do different plastic shells, different colored plastic shells. So I mean,
right.
that the funky part of it, like all the colored vinyl that's coming out.
Yeah, it's like those new reissue instant cameras, those vintage instant cameras and stuff like that. Yeah.
So I honestly don't have people looking for cassettes very often, but it's definitely a small thing out there in the world.
And people are buying cassettes, used cassettes again.
They are.
The stores are buying them too. Wow, I've got tons of great cassettes. That could be the ticket for me,
There's
Mark.
your ticket.
I've got over 7,000 cassettes. Most of them are disco.
Perfect.
What about 8-track?
There are people that collect 8-tracks.
Yeah,
again,
they're limited.
Probably a store in St. Catharines that would buy them from you.
They're limited, though. They're limited. You can't jump to any part of the song, really. You've been great, Mark. Thanks.
Now, Mark, just before you go, just so that people know a little more about your store. It's not just albums and CDs. You also sell books.
We have a selection of music-related books. We have a pretty cool collection of album cover puzzles that we get from the UK that have actually been doing really well.
That Freak Out one, the Freak Out one by Frank Zappa looks particularly intriguing.
Well, yeah, and that one's 1,000 pieces too. So I think Silvia would have fun helping you with that.
She's intimately familiar with the cover. She looks at it every day as she listens to the record.
So yeah, that's a new thing we've been getting into.
That's very cool.
Yeah, if you guys are looking for some merch, that might be an idea.
Oh, that's good. People have been asking us to create some fluffy merch. So we're thinking of a brand of T-shirts, some underwear, and
I'm thinking of wipes. I think there's no band that has wipes.
For good reason, Paul.
You could do a branded lotion.
Some
or
the one thing to say about fluffy merch, that might prompt him.
Yeah,
her, him.
Him. It's
Yep.
a him.
him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Well,
go solo.
Yeah, he might go solo.
It's an issue. It's definitely an issue,
he's
Mark.
An issue.
You're very perceptive.
His ears get too big for him, and he figures he's going to take off on us. Mark, thank you so much for being on the show. You're with all of our guests. We keep getting faxes from our guests' lawyers, and your lawyers have been particularly difficult. They were hard to manage. We put our best legal team on the case. In this case, it was Fluffy. Fluffy went through your rider with a fine-tooth comb. And do you want to, Fluffy, do you want to just go through the rider? So.
What, did anyone see Fluffy? Maybe he's got.
There he is. There he is. He's by the fax machine. The faxes were coming in fast and furious all night. We couldn't come to an agreement, but I think we finally got it. Mark, you were represented by Ernest Efta. He's the community lawyer since 1921. He looks strangely like Paul, but one wonders. Mark, you asked for us to make you, because your customers demand the cleanliness in their used vinyl. Used vinyl is a really special thing, so you don't want to have all sorts of marks and clicks and pops. So we put our best production assistant to create a record cleaning device. There's our production assistant, and he worked all night on this. And his first thing was a public service announcement with prevention is there's Fluffy by his favorite turntable.
Aww.
And this is the PSA he came up with. It's prevention to keep your vinyl clean.
We did have signs up like that at the old store that weren't far off from that.
His second idea for cleaning vinyl was heat.
This is a bad one.
Unfortunately, that idea didn't work out so well. He got into your store and he got the most expensive records he could find just to experiment on them, and this was the result.
Oh, not good.
Well, yeah, but now we have bowls that we can sell.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
You might as well repurpose them.
Vinyl taco bowls.
Now with this one, Fluffy's idea was to take a skill saw and extract each scratch that he saw and each smear and smudge that he saw on the vinyl. And so he started working on them, and he got a few out, but he got so frustrated, he just decided to keep going on with the skill saw. And that box of vinyl pellets represents about 3,000 records. So I'm sorry, Mark. Your inventory. His
heart was in the right place.
I know his heart was in the right place. So we said, Fluffy, give up on the vinyl cleaning. This is not your strong suit. How about building a turntable for Mark that would be, so this is what he came up with. This is a wind-powered turntable using nothing but ingredients you can find at home.
It's also good for strong currents, Mark.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. It is fantastic. I think this is an incredible rider.
I can't wait to.
Now the final one, which we said, with vinyl, especially with the comeback in vinyl, it's great. But what about your car? You've got to be able to listen to vinyl in your car, and he actually pulled it off.
Yeah, there we go.
There it is. Dashboard.
Have you ever
vinyl.
seen one of those? Have you ever seen one of those in real life, Mark?
I haven't.
My uncle had one in his glove compartment. A car had amazing suspension, though. That's why it all worked.
Wow.
My friend Doug used to tell me about that all the time. It was a very limited supply of records that the car dealership had to sell to you.
Really?
Because they were not 45 size. They were a special size to fit that player.
Huh.
But I've never actually seen one in person.
Well,
Rob, when you were a kid?
No, I never did see one. I heard that they existed, but Paul did. So.
Yeah, my uncle had a Citroen. It was in Europe, but my uncle had a Citroen, and his was in the glove compartment, and it was like you could stack records and everything. It was incredible.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Well, there's that, and there's all these other.
Do you still stack 45s, Mark, when you play them?
I don't have a turntable that has that ability, no.
That was the coolest thing. My dad would pile like a bunch of records and play for hours. It was incredible.
And it was for the vinyl, too.
It was perfect for the vinyl. It hardly hurt it at all. Mark, thank you so much for being on the show. You've been a wonderful guest, and I hope you have a very successful record store day. And for all those who were unaware of Encore Records, go to encorerecords.ca. And for those folks who want to check out the great artist on Mark's label, Busted Flat Records, go to bustedflatrecords.com. Mark Logan, thank you very much.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. See you later.
See you
Thank
later.
you, Mark,
See you
for
later.
everything you do. Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. There you go. And you know where it really is? We can tell you where it really is in the world because it's a real place, Encore Records. Mm-hmm. Downtown in Kitchener. Beautiful location. And there we are.
Well, I think it's time to play some music, and it was wonderful having Mark on.
Yeah, it was great.
Such
Learned a lot,
a
too.
musical store. I don't know. I think Mark's such a Dylan fan.
Oh well, we could. So we've been playing songs that we've never done before. So why not start?
Why not start doing a tune we've never played before?
Never.
So we're going to do a cover of a Bob Dylan song. This wasn't planned. This was sort of just.
That was a coincidence.
It's a coincidence, and it's.
A lot of paper.
What's the name, Silvia?
Well, this is Paul identified as having been covered by Garth Brooks about 20 years ago, and Adele more recently.
And
There you go.
yeah, and it's in a great guitar player's key. It's in B flat.
Oh boy. All right, let's try it. We have some I have a comments thing here. I'm going to try and get.
Hey,
You see the
Lynn.
comments there? Hi, Lynn.
Thanks for tuning in, and Pandemi. I'm glad you enjoyed that interview. It was an informative interview. He doesn't have Perth County Conspiracy. I do have a Perth County Conspiracy album, and
Okay.
I love it.
Okay.
So it's a great band.
All right. Pandemi. When the rain is blowing in your face and the whole world is on your case, I could offer you a warm embrace to make you feel my love. When the evening shadows and the stars appear and there's no one there to dry your tears, I could hold you for a million years to make you feel your love. I know you haven't made your mind up yet, but I would never do you wrong. No, there's nothing that our moment that we met, no doubt on the highway of regret. The winds of change are blowing wild and free. You ain't seen nothing like me yet. I can make you happy, make your dreams come true. No, there's nothing that I wouldn't do. Go to the ends of the earth for you, to make you feel my love, to make you feel my love, to make you feel my love. Thank you.
Thanks. No.
Now
We're balladeers. I'd like to say that we've got a very interesting show next week.
Oh, we do.
We do.
We do. What is happening next
What's
week?
happening? We have Paul.
Okay.
We're going to
guys.
celebrate some birthdays.
Surprise!
We're going to celebrate some birthdays.
We've got 2 birthdays actually. Both these guys have birthdays coming up. So we've got the birthday show coming up next week for these 2 guys. Paul and Rob's big birthday bash.
And Paul McCartney, the other left-handed
Right.
guitar player.
Right on. You guys are like,
It's going to be nuts.
here. well, you know, for my birthday, we had a Seth Rogen pop out of a cake. So it's going to be hard to top. But thank you for that. I know Paul arranged it. So maybe Seth will come back for your birthday too.
We got to do better. We got to do better than Seth out of a cake, Silvia. We have to do much better than Seth Rogen out of a cake.
Well, he was naked.
Well, okay. Well,
Yes.
So tell me why that's a good thing.
Okay, so you can. Okay, guys. So that's one idea, but certainly we'll be looking for ideas to help celebrate. So let us know in the comments, or actually private message Paul, Ron, if you're going to go along with those ideas.
I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Thank you for watching our shows over this past almost year.
This is our 50th show.
50th show in a row. Wow.
Here it comes.
Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Next week it will be all Water Street Blues Band all the time, and Paul and I get to celebrate a birthday.
Special celebration. That's right. And
Please join us next week, and we'll have lots of fun together.
All right.
I think it's time to pack up.
It is. Fluffy?
I have no idea. I hate to guess. We're the Water Street Blues Band, and this has been Talking About Live with our wonderful guest, Mark Logan of Encore Records. Join us next week when our guest will be the Water Street Blues Band, and we'll be celebrating Paul and Rob's big birthdays.
And Paul McCartney.
And
Paul McCartney's birthday too. So.
Wonder if we can get him. Let's try. Paul, phone him. Phone Paul McCartney. Get McCartney on the show next week. Get him on the show next week. McCartney. Like cart before the horse.
Oh, we're going for a nice walk.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Good night, everyone. Thank you for joining us. See you next week. Bye. Oh, don't you wear a paper bag over your head. That's helpful. See you next week.